Late last night, under the dim glow of streetlights, a prominent city councilman was spotted slipping out of an upscale hotel with a figure shrouded in secrecy. Rumors of illicit dealings and whispers of betrayal have been swirling for weeks, but now, it seems, the cracks in his polished image are beginning to show. As the city wakes, it buzzes with the question, what skeletons lie hidden in the closet of their once trusted leader? In the shadows of the council. In the bustling city of Laredo, there lived a man named Henry Calloway, a respected councilman with a sterling reputation and a picture-perfect family. Henry was the quintessential public servant, always smiling for the cameras, kissing babies, and cutting ribbons at community events. At home, he had a loving wife, Christine, who was the epitome of grace and devotion, and 2 children who excelled in school and sports. To outsiders, Henry's life was a postcard of success and happiness. But oh dear, perfection is often a mere facade, and behind Henry's polished exterior lay secrets darker than a moonless night. By day, Henry was a man of the people, championing housing reform and infrastructure improvements. By night, he frequented the dimly lit corners of Laredo, places far removed from his stately office, seeking thrills and vices that would make his constituents' jaws drop. One such corner brought him into contact with Bianca, a striking, enigmatic woman who worked in the city clerk's office. Bianca. She was no ordinary city worker. Beneath her sharp power suits and confident demeanor lay a turbulent past. Bianca had been born Brandon in a small judgmental town where conformity was the norm. From a young age, Brandon had known he was different. While the world saw a boy, Brandon felt an unshakable truth within himself. He was meant to be Bianca. This realization set the stage for years of internal conflict, ostracism, and self-discovery. After coming out to his family, Brandon faced rejection so severe that he left home at just 16. The streets became both his refuge and his battleground. To survive, he turned to sex work and the fleeting escape of drugs. Each day was a fight for survival, but even in the darkest moments, Bianca's spirit began to emerge. With sheer determination, she saved enough money to begin hormone therapy and later underwent gender-affirming surgeries. The journey was arduous, filled with setbacks and heartbreak, but it also brought resilience and an unshakable sense of self. By the time she arrived in Laredo, Bianca was a woman who had rebuilt herself from ashes. She secured a job at City Hall, determined to leave her past behind. When she met Henry, she thought she had finally found someone who saw her for who she truly was. Henry and Bianca's connection began innocently enough, or at least as innocent as late-night office banter can be. But it didn't take long for flirtation to evolve into stolen moments and whispered secrets. Henry, ever the risk-taker, found himself drawn to Bianca's raw authenticity, a stark contrast to his curated life. Bianca, wary but yearning for connection, allowed herself to fall for the councilman's charm. Their affair took a scandalous turn when Bianca revealed she was pregnant. Henry was incredulous. "That's impossible," he stammered, but Bianca's certainty was unshakable. A rare case of hermaphroditism, previously undiscovered, had made Bianca's pregnancy possible. The miracle of life had found its way into her improbable story. But it also brought complications neither she nor Henry could have anticipated. As their relationship deepened, an old acquaintance from Bianca's past resurfaced. Vince, a shadowy figure from her days on the streets. Vince had a knack for sniffing out opportunities and saw Bianca's connection to Henry as a goldmine. He approached them with thinly veiled threats, demanding money in exchange for his silence. Terrified of her past coming to light, Bianca initially tried to pay him off, but Vince's demands only grew. With the stakes rising, Henry's carefully constructed life was teetering on the brink of collapse. Desperate to keep his secrets buried, Henry made a series of decisions that would lead him down a treacherous path. He hired a private investigator to dig into Bianca's past, hoping to find dirt he could use to silence her. But when that yielded nothing substantial, Henry's desperation turned darker. He contacted a man known only as the Fixer, a figure whispered about in Laredo's underbelly. Someone who's known for handling delicate matters with ruthless efficiency. Bianca, overhearing the plot, was no stranger to the streets and had learned to protect herself. She decided to take matters into her own hands. Bianca reached out to an old friend who owed her a favor, a journalist with a knack for uncovering political scandals. Together, they devised a plan to expose Henry at a charity gala before he could carry out his deadly intentions, the kind of event where Henry thrived, surrounded by cameras and adoring constituents. But this night would be different. Bianca crashed the event, visibly pregnant alongside her journalist ally. In a fiery speech, she laid bare the truth, the affair, the pregnancy, the blackmail, and Henry's murderous plot. The room erupted into chaos. Christina fainted, and the cameras captured every moment. Meanwhile, as news of the affair and pregnancy began to leak, Henry's life unraveled. The media caught wind of the scandal, and within days, his carefully curated image as a devoted family man was in tatters. His constituents turned against him, his political allies distanced themselves, and he was forced to resign in disgrace. At home, Christina was devastated. Not only had her husband betrayed her, but the revelation of the affair with Bianca, a transgender woman, was a public humiliation she couldn't endure. Henry's children refused to speak to him. He moved out of the family home, finding himself alone and desperate. For Christina, the humiliation festered into rage. She couldn't forgive Henry for the betrayal, and the public scrutiny was unbearable. In her darkest moments, she devised a chilling plan. She contacted the same fixer Henry had once considered. The target, however, was not Bianca but Henry himself. "Make it look like an accident," she instructed coldly. Meanwhile, Bianca grappled with her own fears and hopes. Despite her past, she was determined to provide a loving home for her child. To her surprise, Christina reached out to her. At first, Bianca was wary, suspecting ulterior motives. She offered to help raise the child. The two women, once adversaries, found a common ground in their desire to shield the child from all the chaos. As the fixer set his plan into motion, Henry's paranoia grew. He sensed danger around every corner, but he couldn't pinpoint its source. His once proud demeanor gave way to desperation. He tried to reconcile with Christina, to plead for forgiveness, but she remained resolute. "You made your choices, Henry," she said. "Now live with them." The climax of this sordid tale came one stormy night when Henry's car careened off a bridge and into the river below. The official report deemed it an accident, but those who knew the truth kept their silence. Vince, still lurking in the background, realized he had lost his leverage and quietly disappeared. Henry Calloway's fall from grace was complete, his life extinguished like a candle in the wind. In the aftermath, Christina and Bianca forged an unlikely partnership. They co-parented the child, who became a symbol of redemption and resilience for them both. Bianca's past no longer haunted her, and Christina found purpose in raising a child who represented a new beginning. Together, they created a family built not on perfection, but on honesty and strength. The secrets we keep have a way of unraveling, and sometimes the most unlikely alliances are born from the ashes of scandal. Please like, share, and subscribe. Until next time.